Hi, this is Vicky, also known as DragonflySoars. It is Tuesday, July 14th, and it's just after 6 o'clock. I think this one will be short because I am really tired. I haven't been sleeping. Well, there was a storm the other night that woke me up, and then last night, for some reason, I woke up and then just never really could fall back asleep. That is not my norm. I know for some people that's a nightly occurrence. For me, it's unusual for me not to be able to go back to sleep. In fact, best friend usually teases me about the fact that I lay my head on the pillow and I'm snoring instantly. So for me to not get enough, and I don't always get enough sleep per night, but at least I usually sleep solid. So this weekend we had a few different things going on. But I did make progress on items, so I have things to show you. I worked a little bit on the brioche hat. Now, I said last time that I am struggling a little bit with the idea that it's supposed to be summer, and I'm trying to work on a winter hat. But it is my, I was knitting brioche with Paul so that for the summer fearless knitting. You know, I realized I never actually, because my point of this was that we shouldn't fear our knitting. I don't have anything that I fear, so I don't actually have a project for this. So I'm just working on the brioche hat just because. So the last time you saw this, it was a little bit above the regular ribbing. It has progressed. Now, it is a little slower because it takes 2 times around to equal 1 row of height. So because of the way the slip stitches and stuff work. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 visible brioche rows, which means I actually knit 22. So, but it's progressed. I made progress on it, and then I set it aside, deciding it was enough to show you guys. The pattern says it should be about 5.5 inches before doing the decreases, or 2 inches less than the desired finished height. I think I may make it longer because I don't like really short beanies. I live in Wisconsin. I want things to cover my, at least to the bottom of my ears. So I think I actually am going to need to do about 7 inches. So we shall see. I also mentioned last time that I have a scarf, and so it will make a set. I think it was last time. Well, the original scarf is from the Podcaster Challenge that we did ages ago. So this was just a keyhole scarf. It actually wasn't supposed to be a keyhole scarf. It was a reversible palindrome scarf, but I was tired of knitting it, so I made a keyhole so that I can make it shorter and work it like that. But it's a scarf, it fits under my coat nice, and now I will have a matching hat. So, all right. I also, let me post a picture of the hat. I also worked on the next square, my instant gratification, Circles of the Sun. This is the third one. So we had 1, 2, and 3. This one had even more overlaying techniques. It has the kind of zigzags in the blue, and then again in the gray. And it had another one of those times where you do an overlay of single stitch around the posts. So that's my instant gratification. So there are going to be 9 squares. I have 3 of them done, so I'm a third of the way. They come out 1 per week on Friday afternoons. Let me post a picture of that. I am also working on Sophie. We have been having problems with our internet. I've told you before that our internet is exceedingly slow, and it's been that way forever. It has now actually gotten to the point where it stops at night, and sometimes I can reset it, and then like last night I couldn't reset it. About 8 o'clock every night it just decides, poof, it goes away, and I actually have to go through and reset it. Not only do I have to reset the internet, but some of our devices, like the DVR where we watch Netflix or attempt to watch Netflix, forgets the connection. So then I have to do it in, and because you don't have a keyboard, you're sitting there punching in the password, like going scroll, 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 scroll. First letter, scroll, 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 scroll. Second letter. It's frustrating. I've been more irritated by it than Best Friend has because I'm home more often. 2 nights a week he's teaching. Over the week, last week he had something going on Monday, and then on Saturday he was gone most of the day. So I am here most of the time, so it's more irritating to me. But last night I finally got really angry at it because it insisted, it kept knocking out, and I couldn't send a file to my manager that I needed to send. And it was on my laptop. I have no other way of connecting that. I did not want to hotspot my phone for it. Because that uses up our data plan, and it was a decent file. It was a decent file to be sending over our data plan. It shouldn't have been a big deal for internet. So I've been spending a lot of time in the evenings fighting with that, and so I haven't had as much time to work on Sophie. So I did finish part 12. I'm now on part 13. Part 12 was through this purple line. And so the light blue, black, and the, oh, sorry, it's actually the wrong way. Through the purple line, and then the light blue, black, and the back post, this is called back post crochet, are part of part 13. So, and there's one, I have to finish this round, and then there's one more round for 13. And then the next big block is kind of interesting looking, but I think it's going to be boring. I think it's going to be boring to do, even though it'll be pretty when it's done. So anyway, let me update you on pictures of Sophie. All right, spinning for the Tour de Fleece. You can see my spindle is currently empty. I'm not totally done with that fiber, but I did finish the first half. Now remember, I had one cop on a double pointed knitting needle just as a placeholder. Well, I finished the second one, which I'll post a picture of. But then yesterday was what they call a rest day, because it's a rest day for the Tour de France. So therefore it's a rest day for the Tour de Fleece. So I used my rest day after fighting. Well, after yesterday I had to work from home, and I wrote my presentation. I just couldn't send it to my manager. But when I was done with that, I made a plying ball. So I took both cops in order and wound the plying ball, because remember, my braid went from green to blues to purples to kind of the fuchsia color. Well, now I wound it the opposite on here so that it all goes in line. So later I can two ply once I spin the other sections. Now this is only half. This is the green to kind of a teal to blue, and then actually, and it ends in a navy, and then the other one will go navy through purple to the fuchsia. So I need to start those on the spindle, but all I did right now is do the plying ball. For my plying ball, I wrap around a small tennis ball. These are tennis ball for small dogs. So I ordered a batch off. Well, I think I found some in a store and I ordered some online. I have, I don't know, 6 or 7 of them. The cats like to play with them if they get a hold of them. So it's like, whatever. And then when I have 2 of these, this is a flower pot with a hole in the middle. Standard flower pot, bought it for less than $1 at Walmart, and I have 2 of them. You put the plying ball, well, you thread the end through the hole. Put the plying ball underneath. Do that with both of them, and then you can have your 2 strands, and the ball won't roll around everywhere or unwind too fast for the most part. I've done it before. It worked really well. It was a tip from, I'm pretty sure it was a tip from Abby Francomont. So that is 1 plying ball. So I made a plying ball. So I didn't neglect my spinning on the day of rest. I made a plying ball. On Sunday, instead of spinning on the spindle, I spun on my other wheel. This was a loop bat that I had started when I was testing the Acreworks bobbin for Kromsky. And then it's just been sitting. So I finished the bat. I struggled with this bat. It had kind of felted together. It didn't really want to go very well. And this bobbin is exceedingly full. But the singles are done. At some point I will, I'll just chain ply it. It's the easiest to do. So I will chain ply this. One of the things about the Acreworks bobbins is you can sort of see the colors. So, I will post pictures here of all the spinning. So, speaking of spinning, Tour de France, and being fearless, I had a different topic. I had told you at the beginning of the year that one of my New Year's resolutions was to actually ride my bike. We bought a bike last year. I never rode it because I was scared of it. I felt bad about being scared of it, and I couldn't even explain why I was scared of it. To some extent, it was because I hadn't ridden for a while. To some extent, it was because I weigh a little more and I was worried about balance. But that didn't explain the actual fear. And Mom actually responded and told me that it was probably because I had had a motorcycle accident and it probably was carrying over. And she's right. One of the things with, I always grew up having bikes with foot brakes. Most of the bicycles now have handbrakes, and my motorcycle had handbrakes. And I actually had an accident where I sort of panicked and I did not brake when I should have, and when I did brake, I braked. There's actually a big section I don't remember. I remember getting on the bike. I remember waking up in the hospital. There was a whole lot of things that happened in the middle that people told me about. My son and my ex-husband told me happened that I don't remember. So there's a blank spot. But from what I can tell, I panicked and didn't brake. And then when I did brake, I ended up hitting a wall. And I took the bike and myself over this 3-foot retaining wall and gave myself a nasty concussion, and which is why I don't remember anything. And I never got on that motorcycle again. I also never got on a bicycle again. So for me, getting on that bicycle was huge. And best friend has not been pushing me about it. He knew that this was something I was struggling with, but he also knew it was something I wanted to do. So last week, there was a really nice day and we were going to be home early. It must have been, I think it must have been Friday, because that's the only day we could have done it. I was texting like everybody and telling them about the fact that no, it was Thursday. It must have just been a nice day. Anyway, he was like, when we get home, maybe we can go for a walk. And then he said, or if you wanted, we could go for a bike ride. But you don't have to. I was like, actually, I think I would like to go for a bike ride. And he had said, you're telling everybody to be fearless. And I'm like, but yarn can't hurt you. The ground can. But I did it. I'm like, I just want to go a little bit. And he's like, if all we do is go around the block, that is fine. If nothing else, we can adjust your seat and make sure things are comfortable. Well, I felt okay. So we ended up taking it to the bike path and we ended up going almost 6 miles. So I was really proud of myself. I emailed Heather, to Nandy on Ravelry. I emailed her. I told my mom. I texted my manager. I texted one of my employees. They both are the kind that you can do that. I didn't text everybody, but I posted. I was logging in on MyFitnessPal, and I let MyFitnessPal post it to Facebook, and for some reason it did it twice. And then I made a thing on Instagram and let that post to Facebook, and I was like on this high because I was so proud of myself. We have not done it since because we have had a combination of being really busy and bad weather. But I did it. Technically, all I said on my New Year's resolution was that I would do it. I did say I would do a lot of it. So, done. But no, I was really proud of myself. That was my fearless moment. And technically, it wasn't fearless, but I overcame it anyway. At least that time. I have a feeling that for a while, each time is going to be overcoming that fear again. But, I forgot last time to draw for the June prizes for the Fiber and You. So I drew today, and I'm hoping I'll be able to post the pictures of people's projects in here. I have them in my email, but my iPad does not have 3G. So if I can get the Bluetooth, I have a tool for transferring photos back and forth for iDevices. I've always used it over Wi-Fi. Supposedly it has a Bluetooth connection. If I can make it work over Bluetooth, I will try and get those photos in. Otherwise, I may not be able to. But I have the winners in order listed, and then the prizes are $15 gift certificate, or $15 worth of Ravelry patterns, $15 worth of Ravelry patterns again, and then $25 gift certificate for Etsy. The winners were, for post 86, Little Mermaid. I can't remember what her socks were called. It looked like a German name, like Weintreller, something like that. They have a kind of cool cable pattern up the side. But they're striped. Really? That's what cats do. You ignore them and they start knocking stuff down because you're ignoring them. Pretty much every cat I've known does that. Anyway, they have a cool cable pattern, but she used a striped yarn and they remind me of fruit stripe gum. So that's what I keep thinking of. She won $15 worth of Ravelry gift cards, or Ravelry patterns. Knitting Mary B is making knitted knockers. She actually posted about the knitted knockers in our charity thread. And I know I'm hoping, assuming nothing goes wrong, I'm going to Knitopia next year. And one of the charities they're going to be supporting this time is knitted knockers as well. Anyway, she had, for post 58, a pair of knitted knockers. If you don't know, they are basically breast augmentation made out of yarn and stuffing for people that have had I don't know what I just said. They're replacement boobs if you had a breast removed due to breast cancer. I told you I'm really tired. She also won $15 worth of Ravelry patterns. I said it right that time. And then a Texas yarn posted in post 66 an antler cardigan that it's an antler pullover that she made for her grandson. Yes, I was going to say, the antler cardigan is normally a cardigan. She converted it into a pullover. And so she won $25 in an Etsy gift card. That one I'm going to need a real life email address in order to send it. And the other ones, just send me what your $15 worth of patterns is going to be. Anytime we do those, I've mentioned before, but just so anybody new knows, if you win $15 worth of pattern prizes, it is as many patterns as you want, up to $15. If you want one $15 pattern or a $15 ebook, that's great. If you want a bunch of $2 patterns, that will work too. I really like sending the electronic prizes. It just makes life a whole lot easier. I can do it like quickly. I get the message. I can send it out. Boom, done. Everybody's happy. It's a lot less stress for me. And it's a lot cheaper in the long run. Let's see. There aren't several things in the what do you want me to share thread. But I'm going to skip that segment this week because I actually looked and I don't feel like I have the brain power to actually put into any of them right now. Please, though, continue to put questions there. Heather's kind of helping me keep it going, and then I've got some that I've been adding in. But please put anything you want me to share, whether you want me to explain something. There's one in there right now about how did I get organized and log stuff into Ravelry, which is one I want to take some time. There's one about time travel, if I could go forward or backward. There's one that I'm saving because it requires TIFF. So there's a few in there that I haven't answered. Like I said, I'm not going to do one today. But I think we had enough stuff. And I know I'm going to be fighting for a little bit to get this kind of processed if I can't figure out how to transfer files. And I have no other place to get Wi-Fi without going to like Starbucks or something. And I could, but I feel a little silly. We are going to be looking at other internet options soon. Our internet, when it's working, has a download speed of 1.29 megabytes per second and an upload speed of 0.3. And they tell us that for DSL, that's really good. And they did offer that they could upgrade us to the business package, which would be 3 megabytes. And I forgot what the upload was. We heard the 3 megabytes and I was like, no. I'm like, just no. We do too much stuff and this is too much of an online world and we want to be able to work from home. And if we work from home, it is most likely that both of us will be working from home. Just because, the way we carpool. So I'm like, not always. Sometimes one of us will work from home and the other one will go in. But usually we kind of do neither or both. We need something better. Now, I'm going to be calling one of the other companies and I'm hoping that I can actually say, this is the package I would want. But I need the technician to test because if I can't get that kind of speed, I want to pay for what I'm getting, not the ultimate. I don't want to be paying for the ultimate extreme turbo package and find out that I'm getting basic. although basic would still be faster than what we have now. So, all right, I'm done. I'm done ranting about that. I thought I had something else to tell you. I didn't take any notes this time. I know what it was. Last time I was telling you about Mom's dolls and that she's been putting posters in the background. And I said I couldn't remember what the site was. I'm like, maybe it's like posters.com or something like that. It's actually art.com. So, in case you were wondering. I will talk to you guys all next time. Bye now.